just want to pause it here for a second. I don't want to review anything, but I do want to give you kind of the acknowledgement of, I can tell that you're a really, really good player, just off the bat. If I had to guess your rank, like if I had to come into this completely blind of your rank and only watch, you know, this entire VoD, I would have to guess that you're like a Plat 2, Plat 1 player. Your crosshair placement is excellent. Your movement is also really good, and your decision making is good. I just think you're lacking in a few crucial areas of the game. But overall, I'm in the second round and I'm already impressed. So I just want to, you know, tell you that whatever track you're on after this VoD, you know, so whatever you're doing, keep doing it, especially after this VoD review, because I'm here to put you on the right tracks. And if you listen to me, hopefully it helps you. If it doesn't, then that's my fault. But hopefully I can help you. And whatever I say, you know, if it works, that's excellent, because what I'm seeing right here so far is I'm very pleased with. So just keep doing what you're doing. What is going on, guys? 821 Mayo here, and today we are going to be having ourselves another viewer VoD review video. Now, before we actually jump into the video, I want to cover a few things. So firstly, I've been seeing a lot of negativity in the comment sections. If you have something negative to comment on these videos, or any videos for that matter, keep it to yourself. Nobody cares, and you're just making yourself look like an idiot. So keep the negative comments to yourself, please. I also want to mention that 40% of you guys aren't subscribed. So if you guys have not hit that sub button already, I would greatly appreciate the support. It takes me hours upon hours to make these videos. So seriously, any support is appreciated. And lastly, I want to mention that I'm doing coaching. So if you guys are interested in that, there will be a link to my Patreon down below in the description, where all of your questions can be answered and any other information that you might need will be found there. So if you guys aren't really willing to wait in the list for a VoD form, for me to go through the form, because it takes me a lot of time to get through these, you know, you can just head on over to the Patreon. You can do a one-on-one session with me, or just a VoD review session with me. All of your information over there can be answered. And yes, I do coaching for console players, so PC and console players are both good to go if you guys are interested in coaching. But with all of that being said, let's actually jump into the VoD. I really like to see what you did there. So as a defender, if you're on the opposite team, or, you know, just as a defender in general, you're going to expect, or at least you should expect, someone to try to break down the door. So you making this kill hole here was really, really nice. The only thing that I would like to see you do a little bit different maybe is make the kill hole a little bit larger. And this also applies to vertical play as well in the game. So the more amount of vertical holes you make, it's in theory going to make it harder for the enemies to try to counter your holes or try to kill you through them, because there's more holes for them to guess or predict you on. So, you know, the chances of you dying to your vertical holes, or just a hole like this, goes down as the holes get larger, at least in theory, on paper. But, you know, making the hole a little bit larger is going to make it harder for the Melusi, I believe it is. I'm hearing the MP5. Yeah, the Melusi, it's going to make it a little bit harder for her to predict the angle that you're going to peek from. So, you know, just a little piece of information there. And then also, if we play the VoD out here a little bit more, as you go to reload, you hear someone running. So actually, that's audio propagation. So if you guys don't know how the audio engine works, and I've touched on this a few times in the past, but the way that audio works in the game is that audio will take the shortest path in order for it to reach you. So, you know, whatever that path is, in this instance, it's over this this little window. So you're actually hearing someone top metal, like in this area. He's probably right around here on this X, maybe 90 already. He's in between these two X marks here. Process of elimination, it's you and two other teammates alive, right? Both of them are already archive side, so that would indicate that somebody's flanking 90 currently. So you need to be careful of that and pick up on that little piece of information there.
Diffuser is active, protected at all costs.
He's on metal still.
You're getting a lot of audio cues right now. So this is going to be really, really overwhelming for a gold player. I was looking at his form and he was a gold player. I didn't really touch on it too much because there wasn't a lot of information. But you have three crucial pieces of information here. So you have the Tachanka. So this green X here that I'm putting is the Tachanka. And then you have the Maestro here. And then you hear someone through the Archives barricade, right? So you have the Tachanka outside that's being detected. He's in the bottom right. You have the Jaeger flanking behind you. The reason I know that is because, one, he killed the sledge, and the sledge called the Jaeger top metal. And also you hear the 416 carbine shooting behind you in the office double door, leading to long. And then you have the Melusi. So you can get a lot of information, but I know that you're being overwhelmed here. So what you should have done, and what I'm gathering from this information, and I hate to use the the what if or what if I did this or what if I did that, because that's hindsight and it's very easy to kind of understand what you should have done. But during the moment, you're not using something that's very important to you to your advantage. So you have smoke canisters, right? Now, if you throw a smoke canister here, this cuts off the line of sight that you made and also the line of sight in the barricade. Now, why are you throwing a smoke canister here? Well, it's doing two things. One, it's concealing you from the archives cross. And two, also giving you a little bit of cover and playroom for anyone who might try to swing you in archives. So that means that you don't necessarily have to worry about this angle. Now, why don't you have to worry about the angle? Because the ace opened radio wall, and if you guys don't know what radio wall is, it's the half wall that Malusi just vaulted through. It's the wall that Malusi vaulted through on the little half wall where the radio is at, like in office. That's called radio wall, or archives wall, or whatever you want to call it. But you have this barricade to your advantage. So let's say you throw a smoke canister down, it smokes off this entire area. You don't need to worry about this angle or this position anymore until you start hearing this barricade break, right? So use that to your advantage. This barricade takes 2 hits to vault through or 3 hits to completely destroy it. Either way, you're getting that audio cue of it being completely destroyed. So you smoke this angle off the archives door in the kill hole here. You smoke these 2 things off. And then you worry about the things that are behind you because you no longer have to worry about the door or the cross here that you are currently worried about, right? So you're getting a lot of information. There's the Jaeger shooting as I was talking, and then the Malusi, that's where radio is at, where this Malusi's at right here. This Malusi is right around that area. But, you smoke that archives door off, you play off the audio cue of the barricade breaking, and then you worry about the angles behind you because you no longer are opposed to any threat technically. You can still be smoked banged, but for the most part, you're pretty safe. So worry about the people behind you. Worry about the breach that Ace made because that Ace didn't walk through the door because it's barricaded, right? So that means that in order for him to plant behind the bomb, he would have to open the archives wall, right? Make sure you're picking up on these little pieces of information. That way you can set yourself up for success. I know it's very overwhelming, and what I just explained is sort of advanced, kind of advanced, but it will only come with time and your ability to process information and keep that information in your head while you're playing and your capacity for information, so to speak. But again, that situation, I can tell by the way that you were playing, you were getting very overwhelmed, which is fine. But try to think of other situations or even this one in the way that I just explained it. I just want to pause it here for a second. I don't want to review anything, but I do want to give you kind of the acknowledgement of, I can tell that you're a really, really good player, just off the bat. If I had to guess your rank, like if I had to come into this completely blind of your rank and only watch, this entire VoD, I would have to guess that you're like a Plat 2, Plat 1 player. Your crosshair placement is excellent. Your movement is also really good, and your decision making is good. I just think you're lacking in a few crucial areas of the game, but overall, I'm in the second round and I'm already impressed. So I just want to, tell you that whatever track you're on after this VoD, the biggest thing with these VoD reviews is that I try to not necessarily help people fix their mistakes, but try to put people on the right track of improvement. It kind of falls under the saying, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man how to fish, he eats for a lifetime, right? So whatever you're doing, keep doing it, especially after this VoD review, because I'm here to put you on the right tracks. And if you listen to me, hopefully it helps you. If it doesn't, then that's my fault. But hopefully I can help you. And whatever I say, if it works, that's excellent, because what I'm seeing right here so far is I'm very pleased with. So just keep doing what you're doing. One piece of advice that I would give you, though, is a lot of Siege players, they evolve to this certain point, they think of themselves at the certain point of, I need to get better, I need to get better aim, I need to get better movement, I just need to get better at the game overall, right? Well, you're at this crossroad of the game where you have reached a good enough skill level to compete, and that skill will only increase. So you have this foundation of your skill in terms of mechanical skill, right? So what I want to see you to start incorporate into your gameplay is team play, because we're the 3rd round in. I watched the entire drone phase and the past 2 rounds as well. I haven't heard too much communication from you. You have a microphone because I hear you talking from time to time, but I would just like to see you increase your communication overall, incorporation of the team with yourself as an individual. Because right now, I'm seeing 4 other teammates on your team and then you as an individual. I would like to see 5 teammates, you included, into that pool, right? That's what I would like to see from you. But so far, I'm impressed. But one thing that I would say to you is increase the communication overall. Just try to incorporate yourself more with the team and kind of weave yourself into it, so to speak.
Alright, I'm on your camps.
I really love to see this. This makes me extremely happy. A lot of things that people don't do in this game as an attacker is place their drones in areas like this. So you need to as an attacker, and for a defender as well, it's under a different light when you're on defense. But as an attacker, you need to understand how a map is engineered to your advantage, and you need to use those advantages and bend them into your side of your team. So what are you taking advantage of here? You're effectively, information-wise, cutting off both of the upstairs rotation abilities of the defenders. So same thing on Coastline, the same logic applies here, and maps like Villa, where you can hold long hallway and top red cross as well by setting a 90 drone. You know, it's not as effective on Villa, but nonetheless, it still works really well. But one drone is covering both of the upstairs rotation abilities off of one piece of information in one drone, right? You're covering the east main door, and once you get off the cam, your dead teammate can hold top metal walk up as well, right? Like, super important, and it's very easy to do. This is something that is so basic in the game that people are rarely doing. I only see this in very high elo whenever I'm 5 stacked or playing with people. And sometimes I don't even see it then. It's such a basic thing, yet people don't do it. So I love to see you do this. This is excellent. Very good job by you.
Hey, you guys got free top.
I would like to see you change this air jab up a little bit here. So instead of putting the air jab here, take advantage of the fact that you know nobody currently is playing top metal. You also have a drone on person here, so you can very easily drone top metal, make sure that it's 100% clear, and then put your air jab down. Because now what you've done, even though, yeah, you've air jabbed off the door, the defenders can still play outside of the door in 90. So they can hold a angle from the left side of the top metal door through the small office window here and cut off armory rotation, right? Or cut it in half, so to speak. And they can also do the same thing top metal by looking all the way through the metal door into armory near Africa behind you. Instead of placing the air jab on the metal door, giving the defenders more map control than what they should have, place it at the top of metal stairs, so that way they have to worry about the air jab notifying you that they're top metal, and then you can take the gunfight in a much more ready position. Because, you know, just take advantage of the fact that you know top metal is clear currently. Always place your Mozzie traps on the concrete part of a wall. Never put it on a barricade, because now what you've done, let's say you put your Mozzie pest somewhere around here where this green X is at. Once this barricade is destroyed, the Mozzie pest is going to fall on the floor. So put it here, around that area. Put it like mid-thigh, maybe like near the knee area, because you can actually jump over Mozzie pests. It's quite easy to do. You just have to be you have to be efficient with it. It's pretty easy to jump over a poorly placed Mozzie pest. You need to be positioning yourself here a little bit better. One thing that I always do in my gameplay or whatever it is, you need to kind of look around and be present in the moment. This kind of stems off of the, not philosophy, but the thought that Pengu had, or has rather, a couple years ago. I can't really remember. It was some time ago though, back when I was a pleb at this game. I remember Pengu saying something along the lines of, if you're not doing anything productive for your team, put yourself in situations in your head so that way you're ready for those situations if they do come up. So positioning here, back to what I was saying though, you're effectively putting yourself in a pretty common pre-fire location. The small office wall is not reinforced, and the armory door is right around here, so they can very easily wallbang you in your position. This is a fairly common pre-fire location. So you need to recognize this, look around, understand your surroundings. Where can I die from? Where are the attackers most likely going to come from? Where are the attackers currently? Stuff like that. Be present in the moment, taking the information, so that way you can be in a much more ready position as a defender or even attacker. The logic applies to both sides.
He's got to run in. He's got 20 seconds.
Okay, you are putting yourself in an absolute... This is a horrible decision to make. Absolutely horrible. There's a few reasons why. Okay, so firstly, it is a Nomad and a Monty. The reason I know that it's a Nomad, well, firstly, because his teammate called it out, but I don't need to know that because of the sound of air jabs being shot from the actual launcher, Nomad's primary gadget, also the ARX. Now, the reason I say the launcher is because Ayana also has the ARX, and that would completely mitigate everything that I'm about to say, but I know that it's Nomad because of the sound of the air jabs throughout the round and also the ARX. But nonetheless, you're putting yourself in a horrible position. Now, why are you putting yourself in a horrible position? Well, let's bring back the information I just said about the Nomad. You can clearly see that it's a Monty because he's standing in the armory door, right? So it's a Monty here, and it's a Nomad. What does that tell you as a defender? They have no explosive utility. They cannot get rid of the shield that is currently placed in front of you. Use this to your advantage. You also have 2 ADSs, so even if Nomad wants to flash you, you're still going to be prepared for when that third and final flash flies in, because the first 2 are going to get burned by the 2 ADSs to your left, right? And another piece of information that I want to cover. So you tried to nitro the door and kill the Monty, you missed the nitro, and there was a Banshee placed in the middle of armory, right? Well, it doesn't matter, because in order for the Nomad and Monty to walk in, you're going to be able to hear the audio cues of the Monty shield kind of clanking against each other of him walking, which is an audio cue notifying you that they are walking into armory. Use that to your advantage. So use the audio cues of the Monty shield to notify you that they are pushing into armory, and use this shield to play off of. Because if you die, you give up a very, very important power position, and you don't want to do that. You have a shield, 20 seconds, and audio cues. You have everything you need to set yourself up for success in this round and win it. And if you lose, I'm going to be pretty upset, because so far I'm very impressed with the way you're playing. But the decisions that you're making are very, very lackluster. I will say that much. All right, I'm going to let this situation play out with the audio cues, and then I'm going to go into it.
15 seconds.
Jumped in small.
Only operator remaining.
Okay, so what is important to take away from this? Well, let's go back here. A lot of things, a lot of the time, whenever someone is faced with a Monty or a Clash, or I mean a Blitz doesn't really apply here, but a Monty or a Clash, whenever someone is faced with them, I don't know why, but they just feel this overwhelming amount of pressure. And people need to realize that a Monty or a Clash is only scary whenever there's a gun behind them. Because a Monty with the shield up can do absolutely nothing to you. Like nothing. Like what are they going to do to you? Maybe push you back a little bit, but if you know how to play around it, which will only come with time, it's not really that scary. But let's listen here for a moment about why I'm so into the. So you hear the sprinting before you even hear the barbed wire of the Nomad. You are so unbelievably fixated on this Monty that it pretty much got you killed, because you don't need to worry about him. Like if this Nomad isn't walking right behind the Monty, then where do you think she's going? She might come in late. Well, then play for the plant. You know, even if the Monty isn't the one planting, it's still a shield with a pistol, the very slow ADS speed. So the chances of you winning that 1v1 are really, really high. But, you know, you got absolutely baited out by the Monty. And by the way, his teammate won. The Alibi won 1v2. But you put your teammate in a really, really bad situation of clutching when you shouldn't have. If you made one simple decision of not being so focused on the Monty, it probably would have kept you alive, and you might have killed both of them. You would have at least killed one, the Nomad top metal, but you might have killed both. But either way, you know, keep this in mind, because I don't know what it is about just Monty or just shield operators in general, but it's just I can see the stress in people's gameplay whenever they're faced with a Monty or a Clash, and I never really understood why, because they're annoying, sure, but they're I wouldn't say very easy, but they're much easier to play around and counter than people make it out to be. Now, you know, there's so many different situations where you could say, oh, a Monty is super overpowered in this position or that position or this situation, and that's fine, but those are the micro parts of this game. I'm talking about the macro level of not being so worried about a Monty just because he has a shield up and he's walking towards you. Once you hear that shield drop, that's when you need to worry about a Monty, not when he's walking towards you with the shield up right in front of you. You don't need to worry about that. You know, I'm not saying, you know, play up against him, but keep your distance. But you are far too focused on him. Okay, so I want to let this situation play out, and I want to know, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you could have won the situation. So I'm going to play it out. I want you guys to listen for the audio cues here, because that's a big thing that I go over in my VoD review videos is audio cues. So listen to these audio cues. So right there, that was a vault sound. Someone vaulting through a window. Someone breaking barbed wire. Where would that barbed wire be? It would be on the supply window, right? That's where barbed wire is most likely or most commonly placed, right? There, you hear the audio cue of the briefcase opening of the diffuser going down or the bomb being planted.
Planning on ping.
Your teammate calls planning on ping. The ping is here. You have a Jaeger here. You also know that there's an air jab. There's a Nomad there and a Thermite. Thermite is the one planting. Nomad is the one covering. How do I know that Nomad is the one covering? Because you already heard the audio cue of the Nomad. She could have gotten off, but your teammate is also actively calling planting. I don't know who, but somebody is calling planting. So that would tell me that Thermite is the one planting, Nomad is the one covering because she shot an air jab after you heard the audio cue of the briefcase opening, notifying you that someone is planting, right? You have 2 impacts on Legion. You have a Jaeger that can very easily go bottom metal. So what you need to do here is tell the Jaeger, I'm going to open your wall, shoot this guy. Because you can shoot anyone that's planting on the window here. Through the storage cabinet, you can shoot anyone that's planting in the window. That's why a lot of the times whenever you watch Pro League or any sort of strats, you see either the top of the wall open because you can shoot down from top metal into supply, killing the planter, or you can go, there's holes, footholes rather, placed on the bottom of the floor, and you can shoot the planter that way. So use this to your advantage. Instead of holding the angle and then you later on impact the wall, you're not going to be able to kill this guy because you have the bomb chassis blocking. Right? Like right here, you're looking at a bomb chassis. You can't shoot that guy. So be proactive instead of just sitting here. Because you could have killed this planter, had diffuser control. Who knows what happened, right? It's Siege. Anything can happen during a round. So recognize this. Use what I just gave you in this situation as an example for your decision making. This is a completely wasted impact. Why is that a completely wasted impact? You hear the ace Selma's going off on the armory wall. You could have saved that impact for a Maestro cam, a shield, a Malusi, a bulletproof camera, you gotta pay attention there, like, to be honest. Like, what I'm seeing so far from you is you're not present during a round. You're not paying attention to these little things. Because that one piece of utility could be the difference of getting a shield or whatever, as I was saying, right? Just pay attention. Be present in the round. You hear the audio cues of the Thermite here. You see the flashbang coming here, notifying you that he's on the door. You also hear him just to the left of you. So what you're not recognizing here is that you have a breach that you can play and leave archives. Once you see this flashbang fly through the archives door, you also know that the Capitao is AC window, I should say, sorry. The Capitao has been laying it down with the LMG for the entire round, so he has complete audio cues there. He's concrete side. He's vent AC window. But as soon as you hear this Thermite around this area, take advantage of the fact that you can hold this archives cross and be much less predictable than you sitting in the corner like this and getting absolutely fried. Like you're about to, right here.
In archive.
Because you're 1 HP, you're effectively 1 bullet away from being injured or killed. So use the fact that you have a breach that you can now escape out of and do that. And then hold the cross on the Thermite, and then worry about the Capitao after you kill the Thermite.
Swung from vent.
Let's talk about something here. So, you have 3 flashes, and you have 3 air jabs. Your teammate had tellers, bathroom control, blue desk control, somewhat of customs control, all of this, and you're not air jabbing anything. You didn't air jab a single thing, even though all of your teammates had control of these areas. You were on drone for the most part during this round, but even then you had plenty of opportunities. I've already watched this round through, I think, twice now, but you had plenty of opportunities to air jab off these areas, and you didn't. So this guy that pushes out that you're about to kill would be air jab right now. That guy would be air jab.
Last one was vent. In customs. No, he's in the hallway.
The diffuser is now secured.
You can just try to stick the plan. We have your hallway.
I've got rotate.
Diffuser is active.
He's
Protected
going
at all
tellers,
costs.
just hide. Go somewhere you can, like, easily defend. Don't peek him. Yep, door in the bathroom.
You should not be worrying about this angle here.
door in the back.
You should not be worrying about this angle. You already air jabbed the door. You're messing up pretty bad here. You air jab the far left bathroom hole and you air jab the workshop door. The only two things you need to worry about is the workshop ace hole from teller's door and bottom metal. Only two things you need to worry about here.
Bathroom. He's done bathroom.
Bathroom.
Just keep wasting time.
Jumped in.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job on the clutch. The two things that you really need to do there is use your air jabs much earlier on. Like, much earlier on. You could have air jabbed deep into sight, doorways, whatever. You could have held the blue hallway swing, but you didn't. You were holding an angle all the way from tellers into workshop where your teammate was planting. If your teammate's planting in an area and you're holding an angle on that area, wouldn't that kind of indicate that the area is clear, or else your teammate would be shot, right? So there's no reason for you to be holding that. The only thing that I'm going to tell you, because literally everything else in terms of mechanical skill or just individual skill is fine. Like, you as an individual in terms of mechanics, I really can't complain. You have good aim, you have good movement, decision making, lackluster. Team coordination and just implementation of yourself as an individual into the team, lackluster. And also your presence during a round is low as well. And what I mean by presence is you being present, like, as an individual. As I said earlier on in the video, it seems like it's 4 other people on your team and then you just kind of by yourself, like, to the side. You need to start incorporating yourself into the team. Like, your communication is very low. You need to increase that because you have a mic. Communicate. It's a decision that you're making because you don't want to do it. Do it. Just do it. It's just that simple. But, you know, incorporate yourself with the team. Biggest thing, work on your communication. That kind of falls under incorporating yourself. Just overall team play. Work on that a lot. Your presence during a round. How present you are mentally and physically during a round. You need to work on that drastically as well. Because, like, the Zofia impact round where you go below bottom metal and impact through the double door when you didn't need to because the ace was already acing the wall, and you hear the audio cues clear as day, right? And you still did it. That's what I mean by being present, understanding the things that you're hearing, seeing, and stuff like that, right? But other than that, I mean, I really can't, you know, not necessarily complain or just more or less critique or give advice on anything else, because for the most part, I didn't see too many things wrong besides the things that I just listed. So I hope that helps you out. I'm looking forward to another VoD in the future if you ever do submit one. But yeah, that is going to wrap up today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate the support. As I said at the beginning of the video, 40% of you guys aren't subscribed, so make sure you guys hit that sub button as well as the like button. It helps out for the YouTube algorithm a lot. And also, I want to mention before I go that I'm now doing coaching, so if you guys are interested in that, there will be a link to my Patreon down below. Go check it out. All of your questions can be answered there. Also, you can find links to all my social media. I would appreciate a follow on them. And also, there's a link to my org, the Wichita Wolves, which I'm a content creator for. So if you guys are interested in that, hey, go show them some love. I'd appreciate it. But with all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. And I will see you guys in the next video.